Yo, good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a special day. We are here in Green Bay, Wisconsin in America. We are looking at the National Railroad Museum. Now, why did I make the journey over here to see this museum specifically? Well, you're going to find out. Just to tease you a little bit, some of you may know, some of you may not know, a pretty big locomotive over there, and one that's not from this country at all. Well, let's go and find out what they are. Let's get into the video. Roll the intro. Welcome to the National Railway Museum here in Wisconsin, Green Bay. The museum was established in 1956 by several local businessmen. The museum began as a steam locomotive committee aimed at preserving favorite steam locomotives and other rolling stock. And as time went on, the museum acquired some very unique locomotives and artifacts. The museum now features more than 70 pieces of rolling stock, and plenty of artifacts on display as well. So as we begin making our way through the museum, through the gift shop first and foremost, we get to have a look at some of those railway artifacts here on display. We get to see some rail cars, some equipment, and some other tools that were used on the railroads in America. I love the way that everything is displayed here. It really feels like a new modern museum, and it's just fantastic to see all this stuff. And here on display are what are called drum heads. Now, drum heads are a sign that's mounted to the rear of the train with the name of the service. Now, the drum heads were illuminated just like they are here on display, and they were to promote and advertise that service. So we're going to start off big with the Union Pacific Big Boy, one of the main stars and probably it is the biggest attraction here at the Railroad Museum. The famous Big Boy locomotive was made from 1941 to 1944, and there were 25 units built. The locomotive is a 4884 wheel configuration, and the Big Boy weighs in at 1.2 million pounds, or around 544,000 kilograms. Built for the Union Pacific to handle large freight trains and climb the steep grades it was designed to do. And the locomotive was articulated. It is designed so the locomotive can get around those tighter curves with ease. And standing next to this absolute behemoth of a machine, it's just absolutely unbelievable. I still cannot believe that I was even here doing this. It's very, very special. Right, we're going inside the cab of the Big Boy. Let's go see what it's about. Wow, look at all the gauges. Guys, this is unbelievable. Inside the cab of a Big Boy, this is crazy. And just look how many controls there are. This is amazing. So this looks like the regulator. And making our way to the back of the tender, you can see where the automatic stoker would have shoveled the coal from the back of the tender to the front of the locomotive. A really incredible machine, amazing to see what us humans were able to create, and the fact that we're able to make a machine like this is just, it's unbelievable. It's really, really one of the greatest pieces of engineering, the steam locomotive, and especially a lot of these American locomotives that are gigantic, but amazing to see this preserved. And I'll just leave you with some shots of me just enjoying the fact that I'm chilling out with the Big Boy. And an absolutely beautiful second gem here in the museum is the famous LNER Class A4, the Dwight D. Eisenhower. Built in 1937 in the United Kingdom, this locomotive was famously streamlined for high-speed services. Its sister locomotive, Mallard, holds the speed record for fastest steam locomotive. 6 of these locomotives are still left today, and I was fairly close to the Dominion of Canada in Montreal as I was about 4 hours away in Toronto, but I didn't head out that way sadly. But we do get to see the beautiful Dwight D. Eisenhower in a beautiful green and get a really close-up look. And once again, we're going to step into the cab of the A4 locomotive. Wow, this is beautiful. I can't believe I'm doing this. I genuinely can't believe I'm here. And this is the regulator. That's all I know. Wow, this is the firebox. The door moves. Oh, look at that. There you go, you can open it up. Let's have a look in. This is the belly of the beast. And probably close it back up. There you go. Wow, cool. The A4s were a 462 wheel configuration with 3 cylinders, a higher boiler pressure, an extended firebox, and this was all to accommodate to the fact that this was a high-speed passenger service. The A4s of the British Railways were absolutely fantastic locomotives, and they made their mark in history. The National Railway Museum also completed restoration work on London and North Eastern cars 1591 and 1592. These 2 passenger cars were converted for use on the 2 trains assigned to Eisenhower while in England, one of which was used as Eisenhower's personal quarters and meeting space for his staff. The 1591 was restored to look as it did post-war when it was donated to the museum, and the 1592 is now complete with armor plating, and it looks as it did during the war. Which is really amazing to see 2 versions of the same carriage. And next to the big boy is the Pennsylvania Railroad GG1, so we can also jump in the cab of this locomotive as well. So let's go up there. The GG1s were streamlined electric locomotives built for the Pennsylvania Railroad. These locomotives were quite striking to look at and were well known for pulling trains at 100 miles an hour. They were built from 1934 to 1943 and have an operating lifespan of 50 years. Not exactly inside, but we get a view of the driver's cab, so let's have a look at this. That's what the driver would have seen. Pretty old and rusted in here, but it's preserved, which is great to see. And let's look down to the other end of the locomotive, which is the same on this side. This is a top shot of the Pantos. So this side is down and it's up on the other side. Pretty interesting design with this component on the front of the boiler. That's usually on the sides or even underneath the locomotive sometimes. But a pretty cool little tank engine. So have a look at this. This is like a caboose, I guess, or sort of what would be a guard's van. And it's got a big snow plow on the front. So they'll be using this to get rid of the snow on the tracks. All right, let's go into this caboose with the snow plow on it. Wow, okay, it's got like a very wooden structure in here. Okay, this would be the brake. And we can actually go up a flight of stairs here. Okay. Very tight for a tall guy. And this is your view from here.
Oh, I can actually stand up. Wow. So that's your view outside the window. And yeah, it's all wood. That's really cool. Something different. And this is your view out here, so you can see the tracks ahead. Watch the plow, make sure it's doing its job, and nothing breaks, and that you can do your job. As obviously vision would be hard in the snow and the weather. And there's some stairs here as well, which I would assume would have opened this to have access to the roof.
And this is the French Gratitude train. I will leave a picture of the information for you to have a read if you want to pause and take a look.
Alright, so now we're going to hop inside this car, United States Mail Railway Post Office. Let's go and see what that's all about. Wow, okay. Yeah, this is not the same as the Victorian railways. Look at this. So I'm guessing these are like all your mails and your letters. Parcel delivery system would be here. This is crazy. Look at all this. This is amazing. Now, I'm no American citizen or know anything about American railway history, but please tell me how this worked. If you know, leave a comment below. This is just fantastic. We don't get this in Victoria. This is so cool. So I wonder if it was really like this when it was running back in the day. I would assume so, that this has been historically restored. You got like New York City. I saw Ontario here. Yeah, Ontario. That's Canada, Quebec, Miami. Yeah, wow. This has really been around. Oh, Sydney. We were there for the Air Museum. And in the corner here, there's a bathroom. Little wash bin as well. Beautifully restored. Absolutely perfect. This is another steam locomotive. Let's have a look at what this is. Wow, so that's pretty fantastic. So this locomotive was built by Baldwin here in the US, but was also serving in Korea at a later time during the war. So the locomotive was built with European features, which is pretty cool, which is why it looks different to your standard American locomotive. All right, now we're gonna have a look inside the Pullman cars. Whoa, check it out. All right, let's go from left to right. Wow, this is the bathroom. Very cool. There's your toilets. There's the sleeping compartment. Double story, then here's a single bunk one. There's your mirror. Wow. Yeah, really cool. Okay. It's like a private compartment here. Oh yeah, so you close this door, there's your toilet. And these are the other, I guess, more general seating area. But yeah, have a look at this. This is really nice. I really like this. My first time in a Pullman car, I think from the British Railways or American Railways as well today. Yeah, this looks absolutely fantastic. Very different to what we have in Victoria. Very different. I think that's what the biggest thing is, like the cultural change and how everything was built and what it looks like. This is just the other side. Ah, there's seats here. Everybody waiting to go to the bathroom, okay. And that is the end of this carriage. Now we'll go to the other one. Okay, look at this. There's a toilet there as well. for all the people who are sleeping. Your sleeping compartment. But it's all very nice. It's a very nice green, red. Very cool. So you got like your hallway out here. And then like on your left side are the compartments. So this was one we were just on. Alright, now we're going to take a look at some of the other locomotives and rolling stock that they have outside of that main indoor area. We've got a rail crane on this side, a couple of wagons as well. We've got a road trailer on the rail trailer. We've got a couple more wagons down there. We've got a box car, what looks like a grain loader or sand loader or something like that. We've got a tanker as well, water, oil or something or the other. We've got another one of these cars. And then we've got a couple of locomotives down this way. Now we're going to hop into the other main building and see what else is there.
This is the Aero train built by General Motors in 1955 for high-speed rail and capable of 100 miles per hour. A streamlined design to help with the airflow over the train. The 2 locomotives and 2 coaches have been preserved in museums.
This is the General Motors Aero train. It looks unreal in person, a very, very different style of locomotive or train that was used and constructed in the railways. And like I said, I don't know too much about anything here, but I'm going to do what I can in the voiceover, read some things, learn it, and I'll put whatever information I can find. So that's the train, and some of its consist attached as well, looking a little bit worse for wear, but it's all kept under cover here, which is great to see. Can just go for a little step up here. That's your view this way. Let's have a quick peek inside. It's very grey and silvery in there. Looks a bit bland, but it gets the job done. Now let's have a look at this steam locomotive. This thing is big. So this is locomotive DM and IR number 506. All right, let's get into the cab of this locomotive. We've got these ramps up here which walk straight down for you to have a look into the other exhibits as well. Oh wow. So this is the cab, these are your controls. Pretty spacious in here actually. And this is the tender, very big, very cool. I think the reason it's more spacious is that they must have got rid of something that was along here to make more room. But if they haven't, then this cab is definitely very spacious. I mean, may as well. We're in the tender of this locomotive. Look at that. Cool.
And this is another steam locomotive on the other side. A very cool looking locomotive with red wheels and a very old school style type of locomotive. Very, very cool. Sadly, that steam loco didn't have an information board next to it, but we're going to keep on walking through the aisle and have a look at some of these other carriages and freight and other locomotives as well.
Now this is interesting. This is a locomotive on a trailer here. And it doesn't look like any regular locomotive. This very much looks like a shay. And it is. That boiler is definitely off center. That is a shay. And as many of you know, we have one in Belgrave preserved at the Puffingbilly Railway. I think there might be two. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely know we have one. But yeah, how cool is this? And we're making our way down to some other steam trains as well. I mean, check out these three big steam locomotives. That is awesome. And we're going to take a look at each one as well now.
This is the Lake Superior and Ishpeming Railroad number 24. Built in 1910 by Alco with a 480 wheel configuration. The locomotive was retired in 1939 and donated to the National Railway Museum, and it was their first steam locomotive as a tourist operator, but now remains a static display. The next locomotive is Sioux Line 2718, a H23 class 462 wheel configuration Pacific steam locomotive. Built in 1923 and retired to the museum in 1958. The next one in the line is the Santa Fe 5017, a 210-4 wheel configuration, built in 1944 by Baldwin Locomotive Works. This locomotive weighs in at over 1 million pounds. This locomotive's length is 123 feet and 5 inches, or 37.62 meters, and the big boy is 132 feet, or 40 meters. Now that's only a 3-meter difference between the two, so this is an insanely big locomotive. And with only one set of driving wheels, these wheels are so much larger than that of the big boy. As you can see here, I'm pretty small compared to the one. Now check out the cab of the Santa Fe. Really cool. You get to see the cabs of so many of these locomotives here at the museum. Our next locomotive is the Chesapeake and Ohio number 2736. This is a Class K4 284 Kanawha type steam locomotive that was built by the American Locomotive Company, Alco. Built in the 1940s by the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway, it was used for both freight and passenger service, and it was donated to the National Railway Museum here in Green Bay, where it has remained ever since and been on static display. One of the main highlights of the museum is that you can jump on a train and ride around the museum on this diesel-hauled service. The train runs every couple hours, so let's get on board and see what it's all about.
Well, welcome to the National Railroad Museum, everybody. I'm still kind of getting used to this because we're actually going in the reverse. It should be about a total of 25 minutes. The museum was started in 1940. Local businessmen thought it would be nice to preserve steam engines, could see what steam engines were. So it's around the Midwest. So even though it's no longer with us, we have a hand in. So a vestige of railroading from way.
So on board the train, you are seated to open window seating. There's a bit of mesh just to protect you from, I guess, the flies or from falling out, I guess, or just for safety precautions as well. But it's still really cool. It's nice and open, plenty of seating, and we have a tour guide talking to you about some of the exhibits outside and some of the steam locomotives and rolling stock inside. Some of the other things you can do at the museum, such as guided tours through the restoration workshop, which is definitely something if you are in the area and you get the chance to do that. So come on down to the museum and check it out. The round trip of the museum goes around twice, so we did 2 loops. I think it's about half an hour, the journey itself, and then we come back to the station at the front of the museum. Which brings us to the end of the video. and my holiday.
Alright guys, thanks for joining me at the National Railway Museum here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I hope you've enjoyed my little travel holiday and enjoyed the videos that have come along with it. I will see you guys back in Australia soon. Take care and peace.